We are done with this day one introduction, and we studied about the introduction to JMeter, what is JMeter, and what are the advantages of learning JMeter, what are the protocols that it supports, then what is the process of what are the phases of load testing, and apart from that, we learned about what is the need for JMeter and what is the need for Java, right? So now let us start with the course, okay? The theoretical part is done now. Now we would be moving on to the practical part, okay? So the first thing is over here, we are already done with the demonstration of GUI. Now we would be starting with non-test elements. So the first thing that would come into your mind is what are non-test elements? Okay, elements. Now, as the name says, non-test elements. So the elements which are not related to test, okay, which are not executed in the test, okay, so they are called as non-test elements. Now, over here, before starting with non-test elements, we need to know about the recording, as this is something which is recorded. Okay, we need a script which needs to be recorded. Okay, so the first thing is script. Now, what is script, right? So script is the whole like whole execute test plan. Okay, or you can say the execution plan of the test. Okay, so now how do we generate it? There are two ways. So two ways to generate a script. The first one is automated, and the second one is manual. Now, what is automated and what is manual? Now, in automated, what we do is we perform the actions. Okay, and actions. Okay, and those actions get recorded. So whenever I'm talking about actions and getting recorded, this means that it records everything, whatever I'm performing on the browser. Okay, so say automated means that it records the actions that we perform on the browser. Now, how do we do that? Let me just show you. For example, this is a browser window, right? So over here, I would be going to a website, suppose rediff.com. Okay. Now I'm opening this website. I've performed some action. I've requested this page and the page got loaded. There was a few actions involved, right? Now this is one of the actions. Now the next thing is, say I get to this books link. Okay. Now this is my next action. So I'm performing few actions. Now what if I'm performing some actions and they get recorded as well? So whenever these are getting recorded automatically, this means that this is an automated recording. Okay. So now how to facilitate automated recording? Okay. And how does automated recording work? So in automated recording, there are two things. The first one is the proxy server, and the second one is the browser / client. Okay. Now you might be confused, what is a proxy server, right? You are already aware of the browser and client. So now let us study about the proxy server. Suppose this is internet. Okay, just a minute. Suppose this is internet. Okay, this is us. Okay, accessing internet on computer or laptop. Okay, now right now what is the scenario is we are directly connected to the server. So whatever information I'm requesting to the server, it is directly going to the internet. And after that, we are getting a response. This is a normal scenario. Now, when there is a proxy server, so there would be a proxy server. We would be sending request to the proxy server. That proxy server would be forwarding this request to the internet. Then internet gives proxy server a response, and that proxy server feeds the response to the computer. Okay, so this is a proxy server. Now, whenever there is a proxy server, it may or it may not change the data as well. Okay, it depends upon the proxy server. Now, over here, we would be starting with this. So the first thing we need to do is we need to start JMeter. Now this is the directory where I extracted the JMeter contents. This is where we installed the JMeter. That is in December 2018 folder. Inside this, we have a directory Apache JMeter 5.0. Just go to this directory. Inside this directory, you need to get inside this bin directory. Once you're inside this bin directory, you can find Apache JMeter.jar. Okay, you can directly run it. You need not to do anything else. Just make sure that Java is already installed, otherwise this won't be running. Okay, now as you can see that it would be running in a moment. Once it opens, what we have to do is, and just a minute. Okay, what we have to do is we need to add something. Okay, so what we need to add is we need to add a non-test element. As you can see, there are three different types of non-test elements. The one we would be working on with is the HTTPS test script recorder. Now this is a proxy server. Okay, this runs a proxy server which allows us to record the script. Okay, whatever actions we want to perform on the test, we can record them. Now we would be performing the actions on the browser. It would be recording all the actions, and we can use those actions later. Okay, now over here in this test script recorder, it is asking us for a few things. So the first thing is the name. We can set this name as automated recorder. So automated recorder. Okay, now the next thing is comments. So comments is something which are not shown directly, but they provide us some idea about the element we've highlighted. For example, I provide the comments over here. Say this is a HTTP, or you can say that this is a proxy server. Okay, as you can see that I've specified this as a proxy server over here. Now if I highlight this element over here, you can see that, okay, just a minute. Yeah, you can see that it would be saying this is a proxy server. Okay, so you can give a brief idea about it, whatever the thing is. Okay, this lets the other person know, or this lets you know later on that what is inside it. Okay, you need not to open this item. Now this is a test script recorder. These two properties, that is name and comments, would be common on all types of elements on JMeter. Whatever element we have, these properties would be there. Okay, now there is a property state. Now right now let us just ignore it for a moment. Okay, and I would be coming to this back on a moment. Now the next thing is global settings. Now it is asking us for a port number. Now you know that whenever a proxy server runs, okay, or whenever there is internet communication, it is particularly on a IP and some port number. Okay, so that a server can listen to the requests. Right. Generally for HTTP request, the port number is 80. For HTTPS request, the port number is 443. In the same way, the port number for this proxy server is defined as 8888. You can change that in this as well. For example, I don't want to keep 8888. I want to keep 8989. Okay, so I would be keeping this proxy server port number, right? In the same way, I would be keeping it as 8888 only right now. You can change it, but make sure whatever port number you have specified over here, that needs to be specified in the settings that we're going to do in some time. Okay, so now leave the other part right now. Let us come to the browser part. Now to configure our browser or configure our system to use a proxy server, what we need to do is we need to go to internet settings of our system. So this is specifically to Windows. For other operating systems, I won't be covering all the operating systems, but I would be covering one browser which is compatible with all the other operating systems, that is Firefox. Okay, so right now we would be specifying proxy to our system directly. So what we have to do is we need to open start menu. Once it is open, you need to start typing internet options. Now, if you're using Windows 7 and above, you can find this option like this, internet options. You just need to open the settings. The window looks like this. Now, without making any changes, just directly switch to connections tab. In the connections tab, you need to click on this LAN settings. Once you're inside this LAN settings, the by default option would be this. Okay, the by default things would be something like this. All you have to do is uncheck this automatically detect settings. Go to, and check this option proxy server. Now in proxy server, what you have to do is you have to provide the address. The address is localhost. The port number is 8888. Okay, localhost means the same machine you're using. The port number is the port number that you have specified over here, right? Now, over here we have these settings. Now all you have to do is click on OK and OK. Now your system would be using the proxy. So let us verify whether it is using it or not. So I would be requesting a page rediff.com and see whether it opens or not. Okay. As you can see that it is saying no internet. Okay. There is something wrong with the proxy server or the address is incorrect. Right. So actually the proxy is not running right now. As you can see over here in JMeter, the proxy is not yet running, right? So what we have to do is we need to start the server. To start listening to the requests and start start recording the requests, right? So the moment I click on start, it won't be started. Why? The thing is, it is saying that target controller is configured to use recording controller, but no such controller exists, right? And sure, you add a recording controller as a child of thread group node to start recording correctly. Now this is an error. The error is we need to set the target controller, right? Now the question that would come into mind is what is a target controller, right? Or simply what is a controller? Now, controller is something which allows us to, which enables us to have script elements, okay, and it acts as a folder. Okay, in many ways it acts as a folder, okay, folder, or you can say that a directory. So directory. Now it may or may not have a special functionality. Okay, so it depends upon this what type of controller we are using. So right now it is just a folder where you can keep things. Right. So over here we need to set the target controller. Right now it is set to use recording controller. We would be covering this recording controller later when we would be working with the say logic controllers. Right now we can just set it to use test plan automated recorder. Okay. Now I've set it to use test plan automated recorder. Everything would be recorded over here in the automated recorder. Okay. Now as I've set this option test plan automated recorder, you can check it over here. Now the moment I click start, the proxy server would be running. As you can see that now the proxy server is running and we can record things. Okay, as you can see over here, it is started. Now there would be a window like this, okay, and you need to keep it open. Now what you have to do is you have to go to the browser and request some page. For example, I'm requesting this rediff.com. Now as you can see that the request is going through, and it might be getting recorded over here as well. Okay, as you can see that the request got recorded, http redef.com, and then the next request, it is getting redirected, and the next request is www.redef.com. Okay, so over here we are having two samples. Right now it is giving us a privacy error because it is getting redirected. Okay, so we won't be able to open this page right now because there is an issue with the HTTPS thing. Okay, so we need to work on that as well, but right now let us just move on to some other website which does not work on HTTPS. For example, jmeter.apache.org. Okay, the moment I request this page, as you can see over here, there are few requests which are recorded. The first one is this jmeter.apache.org. Then there are a few other requests as well. Now all the requests belong to jmeter.apache.org, as you can see over here, right? So I can request other things as well. For example, I want to go to the release notes, right? I'm requesting release notes and it is recording a lots of things, right? It is recording some changes.html page, okay, which is the release notes page actually, as you can see over here, right? Now what you have to do is sorry. Now what you have to do is, you can see that the things are getting recorded. You can perform the actions and those would be recorded. For example, I would be going on this overview and it is recording overview as well. Okay. Now suppose I go to this page, that is JMeter wiki. So it would be recording this as well. Okay. And the request is going through right now. It might be recorded in a moment, and it is a HTTPS request, so it won't be recorded. So let us go back and click on some other link. For example, say change history. Okay, so I'm requesting this page and that would be recorded, and as you can see that change history is getting recorded, and with the change history request, lots of things are getting recorded, right? Lots and lots of things are getting recorded over here. Now this may confuse you. Okay, suppose you are having a lots and lots of requests over here, right? So this may confuse you. Now to group these requests, there are different ways. For example, we need to go to the automated recorder and we have an option for grouping. Now what you can do is you can group the samplers. So the question is, what is a sampler, right? So what is a sampler? Now sampler is something which replicates user action and say it generates a request and a response, waits for the response as well. It replicates and waits for the response. Okay, so let us go back and see what a sampler is. So over here, this is a request, right? So this is a HTTP request. Now whenever there is a HTTP request, actually this is a HTTP request sampler. Okay, so this would be replicating a HTTP request. Now for example, we are replicating a request to redef.com, right? So this would be generating a request to redef.com whenever we have run it, and it would be waiting for the response as well. Okay, so this replicates a browser like scenario. Now over here, just a minute. So as you can see that we are having samplers now. We need to group them. Now how we can group them? We have the option over here. We have few options, that is add separators between groups. So the moment I choose this option, and before say recording things, we need to remove these things that we have recorded. So what I would be doing is I would be removing everything whatever we have recorded. Okay, so delete, and we have deleted everything now. So let us record the things now. So the first thing is overview page. Now, as you can see that it is not recorded. This is because the page has been opened with the cache in the browser. So what we need to do is we need to click on this reload this page option, and it would be requesting this page. As you can see that now the page has been requested, and it has been requesting two items. The first one is the index.html and the next one is the favicon.png. Okay, now over here we are done requesting this page. Now what we need to do is we need to get to this user manual. So what we would be doing is I would be clicking on this link, and as you can see that this is my second set of requests. So this is a request separated with the separator. Okay, now if I go back to the browser and I request some other page, for example functions reference, right? So I've requested a page functions reference, and you can see that my third request is this. Now this is helping me to recognize the request. Okay, it is helping me to recognize different requests, right? So we are able to differentiate between the different types of requests, right? Now there are other ways to group as well. This is one of the ways. Now coming back to the automated recorder, you have the option of put each group in a new controller. Now you are already aware of the controller, so let us just use this option. And before that, what we would be doing is we would be removing everything what we have recorded. Okay, and now instead of requesting these pages on this browser window, what we would be doing is we would be opening a incognito window or a private window, and then we would be requesting the pages. Now say I would be requesting the same page, jmeter.apache.org. As you can see that my request is getting recorded. Okay, and it is getting redirected to HTTPS automatically, so it won't be recorded. We need to manually set it to this. As you can see that the request is getting recorded, and now there is a controller over here. Now it is a controller, so we are getting to know what this type of request is, right? Now the next request is this, that is download releases. I've requested download releases. Now this is the download releases page. Okay, there are only two requests, so we are able to know that there are only two requests. There is not a lot of requests right now, but actually there are a lot of requests. Right now there are 4 requests in the first set, then only 1 request in the second set, right? Suppose I go to this page, that is change history. Now I'm going to this change history page, and as you can see that this is a change history. And if I expand it, you can see that lots and lots of items are getting recorded. But this makes our test plan concise. Okay, we are knowing about that this is the change history part, or you can see that this is the third part of request, and it consists of lots and lots of requests, but they are not shown directly to us, so we won't be getting confused at all. Okay, we know that what part of request these samples belong to. Okay, so now whenever we are having hundreds and hundreds of requests, okay, hundreds and hundreds of groups, we are able to know whatever the thing is, okay, whatever the group of requests it is, right? Now this is what was put each group in a new controller. This option and this option is totally same. Put each group in a new transaction controller. We would be working upon the controllers later, so you would be getting to know what is a transaction controller and a normal controller. Okay, now the next thing, that is store first sampler of each group only. If we choose this option, only one sampler would be recorded, for example this sampler, and other would be ignored. So what I'll do, I'll reopen the browser window. Okay, and what I'll do, I would be opening the page again, but not here in this particular window. I would be opening the page in incognito window. So incognito window, and again the same page. So Apache dot jmeter.apache.org. Okay, as you can see that my first request has gone through. So we need to remove the older request. Just a minute. So over here, I would be re-requesting this page, and just a minute, where is my request? Okay, so I would be re-requesting this page now. As you can see that I've re-requested this page, so it has been recorded, and only the first sampler is getting recorded. Now if I go to the change history page, okay, so there is a change history page as well. So if I click on this link, it would be recording only one thing. It won't be recording everything. As you can see that it is just recording changes history. Apart from that, it is not recording anything else. But we already know that there are lots and lots of requests related to changes history. But still, it would be recording only first request. Now in the same way, if I click on this user manual or say best practices, say it would be opening the page and it has not opened. So let us click on best practices. You can see that I've requested best practices. So it would be recording the first sampler only. Now this is how we can record things, right? Right now we are recording the simple request, that is HTTP requests, right? And the type of proxy we have worked on with is the whole system proxy. Okay, so just a minute. So system wide proxy, and the next thing is simple HTTP requests. Now the thing which is left is browser only proxy, and HTTPS request. Okay, so let us start with it. Now let's see, we would be starting with browser only proxy. Right now, as you can see that we have specified the proxy for Chrome. Sorry, we have specified the proxy for the system. And if I open some other browser, for example, if I open Internet Explorer, okay, so I would be opening Internet Explorer, and here I would be requesting few pages. Suppose the request is going to go.microsoft.com. So it might be getting recorded as well. Just a minute. So over here, the request might be getting recorded. Okay, so let us do one thing. Let us request some other page, which is say yahoo.com. Okay. And as you can see that I've requested yahoo.com. It is reflecting over here. The request is getting reflected over here. In the same way, suppose I'm going to some other website, and that is apache.org. Okay. So this is getting recorded. You can see that apache.org is getting recorded, but we wanted to record only and only the requests related to this, that is JMeter. Okay, say user manual, and as you can see that over here both of the things are getting recorded. Okay, and I'm getting the things over here as well. Suppose if I go to the properties reference, it would be recording the properties reference as well. See, properties reference, right? So now over here everything is getting recorded, but we don't want everything to be recorded. We just want the things that we need to be recorded. Now for this, what we need to do is, the first thing is we need to disable the system-wide proxy. So again, the procedure is very easy. In the start menu, you just need to write internet options, and this would be opened. Once you have opened this, it looks something like this. Go to the connections tab, then go to the LAN settings, uncheck this option, and you can, if you want to check this automatically detect settings option, you can. If you don't want, it's all up to you. Now all you have to do is click on OK and make sure this option is unchecked, that is proxy server. Click on OK and OK 2 times, and now your system is free from proxy. Now, to specify proxy in a browser, what you have to do is you have to open the browser. So the browser that we are going to use is Firefox. So the easiest shortcut to download Firefox is easy. Get firefox.com. Okay, this is the link you can use to download Firefox. You can use other browsers as well. For example, Opera also allows you to specify the proxy. Okay, now Chrome does not have any specific option to specify proxy, but we have a specific option in Firefox to specify proxy. So we would be using Firefox now. So let us open Firefox and let's see whether it is installed in my system or not. As you can see, it is installed, so I would be opening it directly. If you don't have Firefox, you need to download it. Now, sorry. Now make sure that you don't use the older instance of Firefox. Uninstall Firefox completely before using it. Okay, to record things in Firefox, you need to use it with only proxy. Apart from that, you need not to use it with any other way. Okay, just because if you want to record the HTTPS scripts, right? Now this is my browser window. It looks something like this. Now what you have to do is you need to go to this option, go to the options menu over here, okay, and it would be opening this page. Now immediately scroll down to the bottom of this page and you have the option network proxy. The moment you click on this network proxy option, you can see that the proxy is specified. Okay, the proxy server is this, the port number is this. Either you can use localhost or either you can use 127.0.0.1. Both of the addresses are pointing to your system only. Okay, one is an IP address and one is a domain name. Okay, now I would be clicking on OK. Right, the moment I click on OK, the proxy is specified. Now all you have to do is you have to start browsing the internet on this. For example, I would be opening a page, say jmeter.apache.org. Now, as you can see that the requests are getting recorded. It is recording some success.txt requests. Okay. Now, over here, what you have to do is you just have to browse the internet and this would be recorded. And as you can see over here, if I request the same page again, this won't be recorded. So if you see over here, this is not getting recorded. But if I open a page over here in this, say download releases, it would be recorded, right? Download jmeter.cgi. So this is how you can record things. Now, as you can notice over here, it is recording so many things. So just a minute, let me just specify a few things over here that it would be grouping in a new controller only. Let us remove everything, whatever we have recorded. Okay, so delete. Now over here, just a minute. So over here, now what you have to do is you have to browse the things. For example, I would be browsing this overview page again, and this would be recorded. So you can see that this is recorded. It is recording some other things as well. That is recording success.txt. So actually it is detecting something with Firefox website. So over here we need to re-request this page, and the page has been re-requested. This would be recorded as well. And just a minute. Okay, it has been recorded over here. Okay. Now the thing is, we don't want unnecessary things to be with us. For example, this success.txt, or say the other files such as CSS or SVG, or let us suppose I'm opening this page, change history. Okay, and it would be requesting few things. As you can see that changes history is recording a lots and lots of files which are PNG, right? So in this case, if you want to ignore such kind of files, all you have to do is you have to go to the automated recorder, go to this option that is request filtering. In this request filtering option, just simply click on add suggested excludes. it would be excluding BMP, .css, .js, .gif, .ico, .jpeg, .jpg, .png, swf, .woff, .woff2 files. Now, suppose if you want to add one more file that you want to ignore, all you have to do is provide the file extension. For example, I would be adding one more file .txt. Okay, so just a minute. See, this is the normal. All you have to do is there is a button above enter, okay, which provides a bar, okay, like this. Okay, now over here you need to write the extension .txt, right? I've specified these things. Now let us see whether it is recording things or not. And before that, as you can see that there is no option for svg, so we need to exclude .svg as well. So svg. Now it would be excluding all these file types. Now let us just rerun everything. So before that we need to remove everything. Okay, so delete, and all the requests are getting deleted now. Now over here what I would be doing is I would be re-requesting this changes history page. Okay, so the page has been re-requested. You can see that changes history, but there is only one sample now. This is because it has ignored all the other requests. If you want to see over here, let us do one thing. Let us re-request this page in a private window. So Control-Shift-P and paste this address over here and request this page. Okay, and as you can see that now over here the page has been opened. Okay, now over here if you see, only changes history is getting recorded. Apart from that, nothing else is getting recorded. The number is changing, the number is increasing a lot, but other things are not getting recorded. They are just discarded the moment they are received. Okay, now this was something how you can ignore a few file types. Now what if you want to name the things as well? So you want to prefix the names. For example, I would be requesting home. So JMeter home, right? So over here I would be requesting this page. Just a minute. Say overview page. So this is the JMeter home page. Now as you can see that it has written, okay, nothing is recorded. We need to, just a minute, let me just close the other window that we don't need. Close tabs, and let us just cross check over here whether the proxy is specified in the this particular window or not. Okay, so proxy is specified. We would be requesting the pages now, and say I'm requesting this user manual. Okay, I've set the name as JMeter home, so it would be reflecting over there as JMeter home. You can see that user manual is getting recorded. In the same way, if I request some other page, suppose I want to record download releases, so I would be specifying download releases. So download releases, and now I would be clicking on this download releases. As you can see that download releases is getting recorded now, right? So this helps us in identifying the samplers as well. This helps us in identifying the controllers as well. Okay, this lets us know that what type of sampler it is. We just need to provide the name. Once you're done providing the name, it would be added over here with the sampler, okay, that has been recorded. So this stands helpful in many cases. Okay, now we are done with these things. Now the thing is how to record HTTPS websites, right? So before recording HTTPS websites, we need to stop the server. We need to go back to the JMeter. So this is our JMeter window. Now over here, as you can see, the moment I start a HTTPS recorder, this gives us a prompt that root certificate has been created in the JMeter bin directory. So all you have to do is go to the JMeter bin directory. This is our bin directory. So you can see that there is a file Apache JMeter temporary root cs.crt, every time you run the server, this would be created. Okay, and this would be kept for the 7 days. Now, as you can see that the file has been created, all you have to do is go to the Firefox, go to the options, and in options again, in the options, go to the privacy and security, scroll down to the bottom of this page, go to view certificates, and in view certificates you would be able to see our option. Right now I've already installed it, so I need to remove this. So what we have to do is delete or distrust. Okay, if there is already this certificate, you need to remove this. Now all you have to do is click on import, and you need to go to the directory where this is added. So over here, this is in the D drive, then batch, then over here December 2018, then Apache JMeter 5, then bin, and over here this is the certificate. Just click on open, and then it would be asking you a few things. So check both of these options and click OK. The moment you click OK, it would be added. As you can see over here, JMeter root CA for recording. Okay, install if only it is yours. Okay, now click on OK and you're good to go. Now all you have to do is request a HTTPS page. For example, we would be requesting a page that is, say, amazon.in. Okay, as you can see that this is a HTTPS request. This request is getting opened, and over here the request is getting recorded as well. Over here you can see that amazon.in HTTPS, right? So we are actually recording the things, right? Now it is recording few files. Okay, so in case of Amazon, the filter does not work properly. So you need to go with this only. Okay, and you can request other things as well. For example, say the other page is also secure, say Amazon Pay. You can see that the page is opened. Okay, the proxy is specified, but still the page is opening. If you try opening the same page with the proxy on the other browser, you won't be able to open it. This is because we have not specified the browser to use that certificate. Okay, so we need to specify the certificate to be used by the browser. Okay, this was how to record HTTPS websites. Right, now we are done with this part, that is recording HTTPS websites. We are done with tunneling whole PC versus tunneling browser. We are done with non-test elements. We are done with this workspace and GUI demonstration. Now one thing, over here we are generating some few things. Now we need to save them as well. So the moment I click on the save button, it would be saving the file. Now as you can see over here, the extension of the file created by JMeter is .jmx. Now as you can see, if I provide the name, say day 2, and if I save it, it would be saved in the bin directory. I can change the directory. For example, over here in this directory JMeter 2018, I would be saving the I would be creating a new folder named as JMX files. Okay, so in JMX files we would be keeping the JMX files. So say day2.jmx. Now if I go to this directory, you can see that over here batch December 2018 JMX files, and day2 has been stored. Okay, now this is a JMX file which is compatible with JMeter only. You cannot directly open this file, it won't be opened. All you have to do is open this file in the JMeter when the JMeter is already running. Now to open the file, the procedure is very easy. Either you can click on this option, the third option, that is open, and you would be able to select the file you want to open. Okay, and apart from that there is an option in the file as well. Okay, so over here you can open the file from here as well. The shortcut is Ctrl+O. So you would be able to open that file from there as well. Okay, now just a minute. So we are done with these things. Tomorrow we would be starting with the samplers. We are already done with the HTTP request sampler, but we have not covered it in detail. So we would be covering this thing in detail tomorrow. And in the next lecture, we would be discussing about FTP request as well. We are done with the automated script recording. You need to practice this as much as you can. Tomorrow we would be starting with the manual script recording. Okay, so we would be working with manual script generation, how we can generate the script manually, and we would be working with developer options of Chrome as well. Okay, so this was for today. If you have any queries, you can feel free to ask.